Hello and welcome to JoyNews Prime. We are coming to you live from our studios here in Kukumlemle, Accra. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. My name is Denisia Pomaiji. Coming up, a young mason battles for his life after a building under construction suddenly caved in at the Kasoa New Market in Central Region. We'll hear from city authorities who are probing the use of substandard materials in the collapsed structure. The Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools is sounding the alarm over what it describes as a growing national crisis, lamenting that some students are abandoning their classrooms to join illegal mining activities. We'll hear from the group which is urging government to take decisive steps to curb the menace. And also massive rollout of HPV vaccination campaigns in the Ashanti, Volta and Ahafo regions as the Ghana Health Service moves in to reduce risk of cervical cancer in girls. Remember, we are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please stay for details. Welcome back. In our first story, a young mason is battling for his life after a building under construction suddenly caved in at the Kasoa New Market in the Central Region. The victim was trapped beneath heavy concrete and steel after the structure collapsed without warning, leaving onlookers in shock. Police, fire service, NADMO officials and the municipal chief executive joined forces in a desperate rescue operation, pulling the mason out with both legs crushed under the rubble. Speaking to Joy News, Awutu Senya East Municipal NADMO Director Nas Nyande says the victim has been rushed to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital after finding out that all his legs have been broken.
In fact, the day has not yet ended, but it's not easy for us. We were on a multiple mission at Kasoa cleaning the city. We were having a general cleanup exercise, and we had a call that some incident has happened close to the Kasoa New Market. So we quickly rushed in and then came to rescue the victim. In fact, he got injured. His leg got broken, but he's alive. So we give thanks to God. Okay, so you can see that the building is an old building. I can't tell. You could see that they have really they have renovated it, but it's lack of quality materials and appropriate materials. You could see that is the summer hat that got broken. That's what we assessed. So myself and my staff are still on grounds. We will make sure we do the needful. We will advise them to move out from the place, so that the right thing will be done before, if they will come and occupy their building again. Now we don't have problem with it, but currently we will not allow any person there. We will try to educate them and let them understand the reason why they need to move out from the building, so that the right thing is done before whatever it was.
This is not the first
court institution on this planet is human resource. Before you build, you need to get your documentation. You have to get all your documents before you build. But our people build on Sundays, Saturdays, because they know the assembly is not working. And if assembly gives you permit to build, we need to inspect it. The NADMO has a role to play in your building. We need to come and assess your land if it's the right place for you to build. But our people will not. They will wait. Saturday, Sunday, they know the assembly is not working, so they will do it. So there are a lot of buildings in Kasoa that have no permits and this thing. They build it without permit and this thing. In fact, I know the engineers at the assembly and the NADMO, we are trying our best to make sure we ensure the right thing is done. So we are in it. We are in it. We are still.
Well, that's some unfortunate news coming in from Kasoa. But away from that story, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, is sounding the alarm over what it describes as the devastating impact of illegal mining activities on education. At its 63rd Annual National Conference held at the University of Energy and Natural Resources in Sunyani, the group lamented the increasing involvement of students in galamsey operations, often at the expense of their schooling. Now, CHAS warns that if the trend continues, the nation risks losing a generation to the lure of quick money, while school lands and learning environments continue to suffer irreversible damage. Our correspondent Precious Semevo has more captured in this report.
The communique was issued by the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, after their 63rd Annual National Conference in Sunyani on the theme, Ensuring Comprehensive, Equitable and Sustainable Secondary Education in Ghana, the Role of Stakeholders. The heads considered critical issues within the nation's educational subsector, and although they reaffirmed their commitment to improving the quality of secondary education in Ghana, they also identified 14 concerns that require urgent attention from the government and other stakeholders. Among the concerns was the destructive impact of galamsey on education, particularly involvement of students at the expense of their education and the degradation of school lands, a situation Charles said could have dire consequences for the nation's future if the menace is unchecked. Charles therefore joins the national call for urgent and decisive action to curb the threat. They also expressed concerns on the delay in the release of funds that place an overwhelming burden on school heads, the sudden reversal of decentralized food procurement system, increasing incidence of student indiscipline with a call for the recruitment of trained security personnel for all senior high schools and the establishment of a dedicated security unit under the Ghana Police Service to handle school-related security matters. Charles also raised concerns of teacher indiscipline and professional misconduct, particularly inappropriate relationships between teachers and students, and called for the appropriate sanctions to be applied as prescribed by the Code of Conduct for Teachers. Other concerns of Charles included the growing menace of examination malpractice, the acute shortage of furniture in schools, the continued use of prepaid electricity meters, abandoned projects, non-payment of intervention funds since 2024, and acute shortages of non-teaching staff, with a call for immediate government intervention. The communique signed by the Secretary of Charles, Barrow Primus, acknowledged some actions and policy decisions of the government to improve education in Ghana, including efforts to enhance the implementation of the free senior high school policy, the initiative to establish a dedicated fund for the free senior high school program through the Ghana Education Trust Fund for regular and timely disbursement of funds to schools, and the decision to reinstate parent-teacher associations in all schools to strengthen stakeholder participation. Charles reaffirmed its untiring commitment to implementing the policies and initiatives of the government to improve secondary education. Precious Semevo, Joy News, Sunyani.
Well, still on illegal mining, security analyst Professor Kwesi Ainin is questioning the long-term sustainability of government's anti-illegal mining structure, NADMO. Speaking on Newsfile, Professor Ainin said, while efforts are ongoing to curb the galamsey menace, the states must move beyond surface-level arrests to target the real financiers and kingpins behind the illegal operations.
Well, I think something is being done, but as Rastos has said, we need a better grasp and understanding of the networks, the financial kingpins behind this, where the money goes, how the money comes in, who purchases what. We are only playing with the small boys and small girls. So until we really come to grips with the powers that be behind this process, then I think, yes, we will have superficial successes, but really making a dent into this is still a joke. So we are only looking at short-term successes and gains, but overlooking the long-term, I would argue, interventions that will cure this. The president himself has indicated that we are chasing the small boys and girls. Now, if NADMO, as the previous speaker from the Forestry Commission, Elegant, said, is bringing together different groups, then it raises a much more serious problem with the performance of our security agencies. How can NADMO do what it is doing and the statutory security agencies under Act 1030 of 2020, the Signals Act, Act 1040, also of 2020, and the National Security Strategy document that classifies 4 types of threats in which illicit mining is located in there cannot get this job done, then it's a matter of the nature of the political will that must back the institutional processes and give them teeth to the level.
Meanwhile, Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission, Elikem Kotoko, has been outlining government's current interventions under the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NADMO, and he insists there is renewed commitment to fighting illegal mining through coordinated enforcement and community partnerships.
We will not be doing the same things and be expecting different results. In the past, there wasn't that show of commitment. And in this fight against Galamsey. Permit me to start with the very profound statement by the then president, who said he was prepared to put his presidency on the line. It's one thing being prepared to put the presidency on the line, and it's another thing putting your presidency on the line. When you talk about the gold mafia expose, the Anasis expose, Charles Bissiou and all of that, let's leave that side. Now, President Mahama took over, and with the goodwill of the people and her political will to confront this, the first statement he made was to make sure that there was no new licenses to be issued, especially into our forest reserves. This is because an LI was passed 2462 that at a point allowed more than 30 companies to go into our forest reserves in the name of mining. And they were not only mining, but they were doing most of these things inappropriately. Then, so having taken that first step out of about 9, which I want to outline, that alone was not enough. But at least it allowed you the leverage to be able to watch the space and tell that no new licenses. And as a result of that, as I speak with you, the Deputy Lands Minister, who chairs a committee to review over 2,748 licenses, 55 has been revoked instantly, 316 found to be clean, and 907 at the risk of being revoked as well too. Now, to further...
And about a dozen new ones issued, right?
No new ones. That's, I'm telling you, no new licenses has been issued ever since President Mahama took office. Then further, in the past, excavators used to just pass through our ports and no registration, no records. Now, we are making sure that these are registered with the DVLA. They are going to be tracked and properly geofenced in order to ensure for efficient monitoring.
Let's now move away from illegal mining. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, in collaboration with the Ghana Health Service, is targeting to vaccinate more than 30,000 teenage girls across basic schools in the Ashanti region against the human papillomavirus (HPV). The initiative forms part of government's efforts to protect adolescent girls from cervical cancer as one of the leading causes of cancer-related deaths among women in Ghana. According to the regional health authorities, the campaign targets girls aged 9 to 14 years, with teams of trained health workers visiting selected schools to administer the vaccine. There's more in the following report.
The human papillomavirus vaccination exercise will be rolled out across selected schools in the Ashanti region in phases to ensure full coverage. The exercise is taking place in various basic schools and communities. Speaking to JoyNews, Dr. Felix Osei-Sapon, UNICEF health specialist, said the vaccination drive aligns with global efforts to eliminate cervical cancer as a public health threat among women.
As you are aware, the national HPV vaccine campaign started yesterday. And currently we are in Ashanti region where we've seen a lot of our health workers collaborating with Ghana Education Service to vaccinate our children. The target group is actually girls aged 9 to 14 years. And we are going to have these 5 days to make sure that every eligible girl gets the opportunity to be vaccinated. And this is very important, as you are aware, that human papillomavirus causes cervical cancer. It's one of the necessary factors for one to acquire cervical cancer. And so by engaging in this exercise, we are protecting our young girls from, future acquisition of cervical cancer.
Kumasi Metro Health Director Dr. Kasoa Jima also commended UNICEF's efforts, describing the initiative as timely. She noted that the vaccination targets over 30,000 young children in the Ashanti region, beginning from basic schools.
Kumasi Metro has a number of schools, over 50. So we have quite a number to cover, both public and private. And it's important we get in school because most of the 9 to 14 years are in school, and it is easier to get them than doing the house to house. So we are using the schools, working with the education, the teachers, the headmistress and the headmasters, so that we're able to get this cohort of 9 to 14 years girls to vaccinate them. It's very important we get them vaccinated against cervical cancer, which is a deadly disease that affects women. So we are very much working with the Ghana Education Service and other stakeholders to make sure this campaign becomes a success and we are able to meet our target, which is over 30,000 young girls in Kumasi.
Dr. Jima also noted that early vaccination remains one of the most efficient ways to prevent cervical cancer and urged parents and teachers to encourage full participation.
The 9 to 14 are in basic and then the JHS. Even some might be in SHS 1. So with the age cohort, we visit these schools to make sure we get our target group. It's important to prevent cervical cancer, which is a future thing. If you get the HPV vaccine, it protects more than 90% of those who get the cervical cancer to prevent this disease, which is deadly. The second most deadly disease that affects women in Ghana.
For JoyNews, Nanabuachi Dankwe Yadrom, Kumasi.
Let's now head to the Volta region, where health authorities there are also embarking on a vaccination drive and stepping up efforts to protect girls aged 9 to 14 from cervical cancer as the nationwide HPV vaccination drive gathers momentum. Well, the Ghana Health Service says the campaign is geared towards safeguarding the future of every young girl in the region. Ivy Priscilla Setoji has the details.
At the Kabori School in Ho and several other schools across the Volta region, the sight of schoolgirls lining up calmly for their shots paints a powerful picture of a nation investing in the health of its daughters. The ongoing HPV vaccination campaign led by the Ghana Health Service aims to protect more than 2.2 million girls nationwide from cervical cancer, one of the most preventable but deadly diseases affecting women. Leading the national monitoring tour in the Volta region, Acting Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Kaba Akoriye, says the nationwide rollout is being closely supervised to ensure safety and success.
There should be no concern because we are monitoring very well the post-vaccination period to make sure that should we pick any side effect, it will be dealt with immediately. This vaccine have been used before, even right here in Ghana between the year 2013 to 2018 we did a pilot and it was very successful. Aside that, people were actually paying for their daughters to get this kind of treatment.
Municipal Health Director Perfect Titiati says the response has been overwhelmingly positive.
I can say that as of today, that's the third day of the campaign. We are doing well. Mobilization has been very good. We've done a lot of stakeholder engagement, school engagement. We've mobilized the community a lot, and we've tried to debunk a lot of the theories, conspiracy theories. We picked signals of hesitancy very early, and we dealt with them. So the community have been mobilized and ready for the vaccine.
Dr. Emmanuel Achu Dodo is the Regional Health Director.
We've not had any serious adverse events yet, and we've gotten the cooperation of all parents so far. So everything is going on well. We had a series of educative sessions before the exercise started, and as it continues, we're still educating people about it. It is a safe vaccine. It's been used over the years globally, and even in Ghana we piloted it for so many years before it is being expanded or included in our routine immunization vaccine. So it is a safe vaccine.
Ivy Satoji, JoyNews.
We'll take a break here on JoyNews Prime, but we'll be back with more. Please stay with us. Welcome back. This is JoyNews Prime. District Assembly officials in parts of the Bono East region are pledging to integrate agroecology into their local development budgets, a move that could mark a turning point in Ghana's battle against harmful chemical farming practices. The officials from Techiman in Kranza North and Tain made the commitment after an agroecology caravan organized by the Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development, SICOD. Well, the initiative, which combined farm visits and training workshops, exposed how the misuse of agrochemicals is harming both farmers and consumers. Correspondent Anna Sabit has more.
For generations, the rhythm of life in Ghana has been tied to the land. But that rhythm is changing. The rains are unpredictable, the sun burns hotter, and the soils are tired. Conventional farming reliant on chemicals promised abundance, but has often left a legacy of degraded land, polluted waters, and a hidden danger in our food. To answer these critical questions, a unique caravan convened in the heart of Ghana's food basket. But these were not the usual traders. They were the planners, the budget officers, the agricultural directors, the very people who shape development at the local level. Their mission: to discover a different path.
SICOD as an organization have been partnering with other CSOs to promote agroecology in Ghana. And one challenge we've had over the period is the minimum government spending on agriculture in general. And in promoting agroecology, we have been advocating for adequate budgetary allocation for agroecology. And this has not been happening. And so we realized that the people that we must be targeting are the key officials of the District Assembly.
So among the participants were youth advocates, the future custodians of this land. We spoke with Patience Ajekum, for whom this was a transformative experience.
It's really been a very impactful session for us as young people, really getting to see the practical and the demonstration aspects of agroecology, and then we believe that it will help us, of course, reach out to more farmers.
And for the decision makers, this was a revelation. The presiding member for Tain District Assembly, Honorable Millicent Adu, saw a direct link between this healthy farm and her responsibilities in the council hall. She promised to be a strong advocate for an increased budget for agroecology in her district.
In October, we are going to look at our budget, and I promise that time we are going to do something about this agroecology farming.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Techiman.
And to wrap the news, Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson says the region is stepping up efforts to attract investors with the relaunch of the Western Region Investment and Business Center. The initiative, first introduced years ago but stalled due to funding and coordination challenges, has been revived to reposition the Western region as a leading investment destination. Speaking at the event in Sekendi, Takrade, the minister said the new framework will ensure proceeds from oil, gas, and mining translate into tangible benefits for local communities. Correspondent Natalia Kwanza reports.
The Western region, rich in gold, cocoa, bauxite, oil, among other natural resources, remain a cornerstone of Ghana's economy. Yet, for many years, the people here have seen little benefit from the wealth extracted from their land. With a population of over 2 million, the region is now taking decisive steps to change that narrative.
All the natural resources that we have and ensure that businesses as well flourish for the benefit of the people. It's along these lines that this center has been opened today. The journey has just begun. And I believe that at the end of the day, we'll look back and say that Western region has indeed made progress. We need to take the bull by the horn. We've been lamenting for far too long. This is the time to take steps to take control of our own destiny and make sure that this region receives the needed attention and the benefits that the people have always yearned for.
And that's it for JoyNews Prime. My name is Denise Yapomaije. Good evening.